Good day. Uh, Today I'm going to be discussing Chapter 4, Working with Components, as well as Chapter 5, Conditional Rendering. And I'm here with my navigator, Lindo.
Hello everyone, I'll be the navigator of this session.
Cool. So I'm going to be discussing Chapter 4 and Chapter 5. So basically, Chapter 4 is working with components. And yeah, this lesson is just mainly using components, how to reuse them and put them together in an application. So in Chapter 4, we have created products.js, which is a component, products, as well as product as well. So in products, over here we have a constructor, and we're using props, basically to read data and pass that data to our component so we can use the data, and render that data basically. So over here we have a return functions returning an array with basically three dictionaries that are key value pairs, with the image, product name, release date, description, rating, and number of reviews for each product, right? And yeah, then in this render, we have this list products variable, which in it we use map to loop through products, using product and basically giving each product, right, a specific key or a specific unique ID using key, right, for the product name. And when we list the products in this div, then it shows all the products in the front end. Here in product.js, essentially, we're using this props data product name to get the product name. Then here we're getting the release date, right? Here we use the rating component to get the ratings and the number of reviews. So basically the ratings, as you can see here, these ratings, yeah, the rating and the number of reviews as well is what we need for each product. So that's all done using props and state. And then the list of products is shown in the front end, right? When we render it. So let's see how that looks. So then it shows the image, product 1, the date, as we're saying, the rating value as well, and the ratings over there, as well as the description, right? Because when you go here, then we see in those key value pairs, we see the keys, the image, product name, release date, description, rating, and number of reviews. And yeah, that data is read and passed to the component using props. Then in chapter 5 we basically touched on conditional rendering, so basically exploring functionality to give us more control in rendering HTML via JSX. So specifically inline if with and operator. This is essentially how it will look. So using this conditional condition, which is an inline if and operator, to display a list of products. Um, so so yeah, personally I went ahead and created my own component, right? Named test. And essentially what I did is, as you can see, I used the conditional um, inline if and operator. So how that works is it's saying basically if the length in fruits, right, is greater than 0, um, then it will basically then this will be basically be executed and shown in the front end, the list of fruits. But if it's equal to 0, the length in the array, then it will show in the front end that there's nothing to see. So from the top, I created an empty array and an array here with the list of fruits, and basically I'm using the render method over here. Within it, I have a for loop which loops through the fruit list over here for the specific instance, and I use the push method to push all of these values in fruits, which is the empty array, and give it a unique ID with key, and indexing it as well. So the fruits list is indexed by I as I push them to fruits. And basically, this return is basically saying that if the length in fruits, which is the empty array, is greater than 0, then it will show the fruits. But in this case, this array is no longer empty because I used the push method to push all of these there, and so this will be executed and rendered to the front end. In order for it to be rendered, I imported my test.js in index .js over here. So I imported my test component, let me say, over here where the main rendering is taking place to show it in the front end. So let's see the list that it shows. And so it shows a list over here of all the fruits. So that's specifically conditional rendering, mainly this these lines of code over here.